Hey, bro, what you finna do?
Damn, nigga, why you all in my business, man? I'm finna run to the goddamn store.
Bring me some woods back. I'm finna watch T-Love Talks.
Nigga, I don't know no T-Love, nigga.
Oh, that's my nigga from Duval County.
Nigga, fuck them niggas. I'm from the west side, nigga.
Bro, you should really check him out.
What's wrong with
Man,
you?
he be dropping all the science, man. I'm talking current events, black history, trending bullshit, real issues in the black community, man. He really care about the people.
God damn, nigga, why you on the man nutsack like that?
Nigga, I ain't on the man nuts, nigga. I'm just trying to put you up on game, old bobblehead ass, funny built, wash rag for a brain ass nigga. That's the problem right now, man, niggas. Welcome, family, to another episode of T-Love Talks, T-Love Pod World. Thanks for chiming in with me. Yours truly, Mr. T-Love. So I got a couple of cameras going on, so y'all might see me kind of doing, multiple views and angles while we doing the filming of this Pod World episode right here. But yes, let's get into this, y'all. Let's get into this. Let me go ahead and cut that down. But we got to talk about this Michael Jackson situation, man, family. Oh, yeah, and if this is your first time watching the T-Love Talks Pod World, please go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm a new content bringer, so I'm going to be bringing you guys more and girls more content on a regular basis, okay? So, but yeah, Michael Jackson, man. Michael Jackson, MJ, you know what I mean, the king of pop. You know what I mean? It seemed like with this new Leaving Neverland HBO special that came out, documentary or whatnot, I ain't going to call it a special because there wasn't nothing special about it. I have not seen the documentary myself, but I have heard so many of my compadres on their outlook on what's happening to the legacy of Michael Jackson. And a lot of them are not happy. So, it's a point where you look at this, you know that this man is a legend musically, and then it's like this other whole aspect of, what this man is doing in the private in his bedroom, you know what I mean, is coming to the forefront right now, and that's what's been happening a lot right now. Apparently, there's been a lot of other issues with this particular situation. You got the whole Oprah aspect of this. Oprah Winfrey doing a interview with apparently the dudes that was in the documentary that accused Michael, which they already said one of the dudes, his credibility is garbage. You know what I mean? They saying that this dude was best buddies with Michael, even testified for Michael's defense when Michael went to trial back in I guess it was the 95 or whatnot, and all the way up until the man death and even after. But now you come in this many years later, another situation like this, family. We're seeing that a black man is being targeted in the media. As light skinned, as pale as MJ was, he was still a brother, and he ain't had no problem telling people that. But on the real though, man, it's getting out of hand. Just like I talked about with Jussie, how they trying to throw the book at Jussie, and we know Jussie ain't do the right thing. But you know what I mean? It's like this character assassination, man. It's got to stop, dog. This character assassination has got to stop. But with MJ, man, they're not going to be able to tarnish MJ legacy. If you ain't tarnish Elvis legacy, and he's still the king of y'all rock and roll, and we ain't even going to go into Elvis, because Elvis had a 14-year-old girlfriend, and he was with, wound up being his wife later on down the road. But, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody tried to take Elvis music off the shelf, or ain't nobody tried to do a documentary, tarnishing his legacy, you know what I'm saying, to this extent, you know what I mean? So we have to keep looking at this, y'all, from this perspective. Being black in America, we trying to coexist again in this society that we helped build, and we seeing a lot of this character assassination. So I don't want to keep rambling, but to go back to Michael, you're not gonna be able to take Michael's legacy down like that. The man is already in the grave. He still got living, and see, that's one thing about black folks that's got family that's still alive. They love them and cherish their legacy because they're gonna fight that evil corporation all the way to, you know what I mean, they can't fight them no more. And apparently they got like $100 million lawsuit going against, you know what I'm saying, HBO right now, the Jackson family. So you ain't got to worry about me boycotting HBO. I don't even subscribe in the cable to that extent with all them channels like I used to, because all the content now on the internet. So ain't nobody watching TV like that no more. It's like it's a constant fight with the streaming services, you know what I mean, with the networks, and they be trying to make deals with the streaming services now. So it's like it's a constant competition. It's like you got to get in where you fit in at, just like the taxi cab drivers had to do with the Uber drivers. Taxi cab drivers had to get in where they fit in at. They had to start driving Uber, switch their game up, drive a truck or something. Nigga, you better do something. That money ain't flowing like it used to. But anyway, let me stay on point. Michael Jackson, man. Beat it. Beat it. I ain't going nowhere, man. Thrill, all of that. Man, I ain't going nowhere, man. That's legacy music, and the empire this man created ultimately is gonna be around the concept of Neverland. You know, that Michael had. A lot of people look at that and well, that was kind of sick because he's like a big kid and had all this stuff around. No, that man, you know, he did what he wanted to do with his money. You do what you want to do with your money. You do what he want to do with his money. Now, the concept of Michael having these little white children over his house in his bed, I don't necessarily agree with that concept right there. But then again, Michael, he was around all of these white people, and maybe there was something mentally that he was dealing with that aspect. Like I've heard women talk about this subject, and you know, you know, of course, any woman will be like, sure, if my daughter's, you know, friends come over and they want to sleep in my bed, sure, you know what I mean? That's nothing. That's not a problem. But when you look at a grown man having a little boys in his bed, then you kind of look at that as, you know, that's not in custom with society, how this thing really works. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a man might have his baby, you know, if he got a baby boy sleeping in the bed with him while he's little, that type of thing. Well, you know, boys is 10, 11, 12, you sit your ass on that couch over there, get your little dusty ass over there, nigga be stank too. I won't be that age, so. But anyway, you know, I'm just kind of going over my perspective on this because I feel like, you know, Michael is too big of a name in the black community for us to just throw him under the rug like that. He has some, you know, issues. Obviously, we all have some freaking issues, so we can't necessarily point the finger at Michael like that. But, you know, him growing up as a child star, having to deal with all these different type of scenarios that normal children don't deal with, you can imagine his mindset was it was different from the average child growing up in America. He was a superstar. He was a mega star. He was an international star. So, like, that's the only person I've seen on film where, you know, I don't know if it was any any of these occurrences in America, but I know overseas I've seen footage of Michael perform, and you got grown men passing out, falling out as he's performing on stage. You know what I'm saying? It's like they send a god on stage is what it's like for them, which, you know, in essence, that's what Mike's spirit was like. It was like a god when he was on stage. You feel me? His performance was impeccable. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just what it is. I mean, it's a lot of stuff as far as Mike was talking about before he died as well. And Mike was talking about You know, Sony, you know, he owned most of Sony. People don't know that, well, he owned a big part of Sony. He owned the Beatles catalog. Stuff like this, you know, made corporate music industry execs and those big heads not like Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a smart businessman. So when you look at that aspect of a person, same thing with Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Bill Cosby was trying to buy NBC, but Mike was actually, you know, he was purchasing catalogs of, you know, these rich, these exclusive catalogs, Beatles. You know what I mean? It was some other ones he purchased as well. But what I'm saying is they didn't like that, and Mike said before he died, they was trying to, you know what I'm saying, ruin his legacy, because, you know, he wanted to speak out for black people, and he wanted to be more vocal, and, you know what I mean, be more of a powerhouse as far as, you know, his conglomerate of success and everything that he'd done. He wanted to keep growing that and keep being, you know, for positive for black folks. But he was saying, like, hey, these people trying to take my legacy. That's why they coming up with all this, and I'm starting to speak out now. Before I was just a little soft-spoken Mike. Now Mike is trying to speak out, and boom, all these accusations come up. You know what I mean? So we have to look at these things, family, like real talk. You know what I mean? So this is my perspective on all of this. I'm just trying to, you know, chime in with the family, give y'all the content, let y'all give me feedback. If you're watching the video, please go ahead and like the video. Again, I'm T-Love, new content bringer. I'm going to be putting up more and more content for you guys, you know what I'm saying, you know, 2-3 times a week, more and more, you know what I mean? So, holla at your boy. You know what I mean? This T-Love Talks, telling you to do what you love. Hey, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one, y'all. Peace, family. I'm out.